think it's real important during this time to really hold on to what normalcy and routine we can. For me, that includes trying to keep a standard bedtime schedule, falling asleep and waking up at a structured time, sitting down and having meals together, to really routinize and block off times where I know that I'm going to be working, in a sense to try to find normalcy in these very abnormal times. Yeah, without a doubt. So I have found myself needing to create an entire daily schedule of blocks of time when I study, what time I'm gonna take a break from studying, what time I'm doing housework, and what time I'm going back to doing my studying and grading. For me, one of the areas I've had to be real disciplined in is with the news. I like information, and I've got to be real thoughtful in the type of information I'm a consumer of. So what I've done is I've restricted myself to a couple of authorities, a couple of scientists who I follow what they say. I've restricted myself to a couple of channels. I've tried to be real discerning on where I get my news. And I need to determine, is more news, more information today going to help me in any way? At a certain point, I'm just inundating myself with more distress, more distress, more distress. I need to know when to hit the pause button. I think distraction is critical. Each of us has our own way of how we lose ourselves. So I like to garden. I like to work outside. That's helpful. I started watching the old Bob Newhart show, the show I grew up with that I loved. I'm on the first season, one of the last episodes. So for each of us to find what helps us lose ourselves. For me, it's been gardening and the Bob Newhart show. We've got our frontline critical response essential workers doing their part. But the rest of us really need to be supportive and do what we can to help control the spread of the virus, to be really thoughtful and follow the directives of individuals telling us how to stay home and stay safe. We all play a part. A couple of points here. One is I don't remember a time in life where I've felt so connected to my global community. We're all impacting. It's a universal form of concern and suffering that we all experience. I don't know that anyone is absent of this experience. I have found it very important for me to stay in touch with my community, my friends and my family. So to hear the warmth of someone's voice, to see an affirming text, to be able to video chat and see a loved one's face has been real grounding for me. And we're worried about our loved ones. So if we can see our loved one's face, sometimes that brings us some comfort.